Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Jessie and I make YouTube videos about houseplants and houseplant related content. And today's video is going to be an updated Hoya collection video. So I made one of these videos about a year ago, a little over a year ago, but that was still where I was living across the country. And my Hoya collection has changed a lot since then. I actually, when I was getting all the plants ready to film this video, I noticed that a lot of these plants that I have here in front of me are new. So I'm really excited to sort of give you an update on my Hoya collection and how it has grown. I also wanted to just say before I get into this video that in my last video, I shared with you guys sort of like a personal update about my life and my job situation. And I just couldn't have expected the response that I got in the comments. I thought it would just be like this weird thing where I just shared something that was going on and you guys like didn't care. I didn't think anyone would care. And it was really nice. Like, you guys were so supportive and sweet and kind. And if you watched that video and you commented under it, thank you so much. I adore you guys. You guys are amazing and so special to me. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. I will be sharing with you the plants that I have as well as the price that I paid as long as I can remember. I always share with you guys prices as long as I remember them. So let's get into it because I have tons of plants here to share with you. So I think what I'm gonna do is start with my older ones and then try and go newer. It's gonna be like kind of a mishmash, but I'm gonna start with some of the ones that I've had in my collection the longest. One of my tried and true Hoyas is my Hoya OBOVATA. I had to cut this plant back quite a bit when we moved, so it's in the process of sort of growing out and getting new leaves again and being more like branched off. But this is a Hoya OBOVATA. I got it on Etsy about a year and a half ago, maybe almost 2 years ago now. I paid $35 for it. I think 40 with like shipping and everything, but it was around $40 or so for this large size that you see here, which I think was a really great price at the time. I love, love, love this plant because I feel like you just can do no wrong. Like, I have it right now in very low light and it's still growing a lot. And I've sort of always had it in pretty low light, and it's just like, it's a fast grower. It's a sweet like plant. It doesn't need anything from you. It's really, really forgiving. And I love how splashy it is. I love this plant. I love it. This is my Hoya OBOVATA. This is one of the special ones that made it across the country with me, so she's got a special place in my heart. We have another one that made it across the country with me. She doesn't look as good. This is a Hoya Chelsea. She's very scrangly. This was a plant that I did take with me across the country. I paid $35 for this plant as well. I had got it at a local nursery back in Buffalo. And it did look fine actually when we moved with it, but then I put it in a place that was too accessible to the cats, and then they just like munched on it and like it like just looked a mess. So recently I cut a bunch off of it, which is why it just kind of looks like sparse. I cut a bunch of like the half-eaten leaves and the yellowing leaves and things like that. So I've now moved it under a more higher light situation so that it can start to like grow back out again. But this is a Hoya Chelsea. I'm hoping to have it grow in a little bit more sometime soon. She's looking a little rough. Whoops. Another one that traveled with me. This is one of my favorite like OG Hoya plants for several reasons. So this is a Hoya CARNOSA COMPACTA VARIEGATA. It's a variegated Hoya compacta. I bought this plant for $18. I got it at this local nursery back in Buffalo. The lady clearly did not know that these ones were worth more than the other ones that she was putting out. There was 4 plants, and as she was putting them out, me and like this other girl grabbed them immediately. I grabbed 2, she grabbed 2, and that was it because they were just such an amazing price. And so this is one of them. I got rid of the other one because I didn't want to bring both of them across the country, but this is one of them, the one that had a little more pink on it. For $18, I think it's doing amazing. It was obviously a little smaller, like it has like all these nice new branches because I have it in some really nice light, but it was smaller when I got it. I think it's grown really fast for the kind of plant that it is because I know that these are notoriously slow growers. So for, I've had it for almost 2 years. I feel like for the amount that it's grown a lot for what it is. It's really pretty. It does look like I'm looking at it on camera and it looks like these leaves are yellowing. Like the color is showing up on camera as being yellowing. They're not yellowing, they're just like pretty lime green. I think they're a little sun bleached from, because I have this directly under my Soltech Solutions grow light, like literally directly under it, because I want it to grow. And so I give this like really good light because I want it to grow a little faster. So I think it has a little bit of sun bleaching, but the leaves are still like plump, and they've been this color for a little bit, so I think that they're fine. But I love this plant. It has like so much pink when the new leaves grow. Like, it's just unbelievable. So pretty. I love her. I love her. Another plant that made the journey, one of the most underrated Hoyas in my humble opinion, because these are relatively accessible, relatively cheap, and I love them, and I don't see people talking about them enough. This is a Hoya Memoria GRACILIS. I paid $35 for this plant back in Buffalo for this size that it is. It's grown a little bit, but not like a bunch. It's pretty a slower grower to me, in my opinion. But I love it because it's so floppy. Like, so many Hoyas do not have this sort of growth pattern where it's like floppy instead of like branchy. I like it. It's like gonna make such a nice trailing plant when it's like grown out a little bit more. It does grow very slow, I will say that. It's taken a long time to sort of do anything. In fact, it really hasn't done anything. And I've had it for about a year. But I like it, nonetheless, I like it, and I think it's very pretty, and I love the growth pattern. Here's one new leaf, 2 new leaves. All right, we've got like, can you see the thinner leaves that are right there? It's grown like a few leaves in my care, but it's just very slow. I love it though. It's like splashy, it's relatively cheap. I think it's unique for a Hoya. It's like floppy. I just really like it. I like this Hoya, and $35 is what I paid for it, and I've actually seen them cheaper in nurseries around here in Seattle. Obviously there's a lot more availability with plants in Seattle, but I've seen them on Etsy for around $35 as well. So it depends on where you're located, but these are relatively accessible. Look how pretty. Love her. Next, we have a dusty, crusty Hoya, because this one's always, it's like hanging up and I don't really dust it off, so don't mind that. But this is a Hoya that has like weirdly sentimental value to me, okay? Because this is one of the first plants that I ever bought. In fact, I think if I think back on like the original plants that I purchased when I was first getting into plants, I think this is the only one left. Because obviously I moved across the country and I just didn't, like, I killed a lot of plants. Like, I think this is really the only one from my like original plant escapades. So this is a Hoya CARNOSA, and this was the first Hoya that I ever saw in real life. After watching like a bunch of plant videos, I went to a nursery near me, and this Hoya was like the only Hoya that they had, and I bought it because I was so excited to see them. I think it was like $11 at the time. It wasn't expensive. But you know, it's a regular Hoya. It's like a Hoya CARNOSA. You can get them anywhere. But I love this plant because, oh, the original 2 leaves are gone now, but this plant ended up being like, I killed it, basically. Is what I'm trying to say, is I killed it. I brought it back from the brink of death, basically. I killed off all the leaves. It was a full like 6-inch pot. I killed off all the leaves from it on accident because it was one of my first plants. And I had 2 leaves left, and I water propagated it, and now those 2 leaves have since fallen off because it was like a long time ago. It was like several years ago now. But look it's like a full plant. This plant is like not, you know, special in its variety, but it's special to me in that, you know, it's like one of my OG plants ever, and I love it for that. I'm very proud of it. I love you. I think I'm gonna finish up with the plants that I brought back from Buffalo. All the way across the country, and then I'm gonna move into the newer ones. So I have 2 more left from Buffalo. This one is a Hoya KERRI, a variegated one. It's got these like pink marks on it because I accidentally, basically what happened was I got it stuck in my humidifier. Like when I was putting the tank down, it got stuck. So it's kind of like scarred right there, but the leaf didn't fall off, so that's fine. This plant came to me as 3 leaves, and it has grown 1, 2, 3 more leaves since I got it. It's a pretty slow grower. It was a gift. It was gifted to me on Christmas 2 years ago, like 2 Christmases ago. It has grown 3 leaves since then. It's very slow growing. And I don't know how much she paid for it, but then I ended up seeing them at a local nursery where I'm assuming she bought it, and they were like $80 or like $50, I can't remember. 50 to 80 or something. That's pretty like normal for plants like this. I've seen these for going around the same price. I think it's beautiful. I love it. I obviously took it with me across the country because they are so pretty, but it's a very slow grower. So, you know, I just keep it in my humidity cabinet, my IKEA cabinet as of late, because I'm hoping that that will encourage it to grow a little faster. One thing I notice about these is that they lose new leaves very frequently. Like their new leaves as they come in, when they're still small, they really have a tendency to fall off if you like change anything about their environment. So I had like this leaf right here, and then this leaf recently fell off as well when they were still like really itty bitty and small. Honestly, I think just because I moved it like briefly and they just fell off. So sometimes the new leaves shrivel, which is annoying. Once they get to like this size, this leaf's not going anywhere. But when they're small, they really have a tendency to shrivel up and die off. So that's annoying. I feel like it could be fuller, but it's lost a couple of leaves. But all in all, I think this is a beautiful Hoya and I love it a lot. Look how pretty she is. I'm so proud of her. Okay, the last plant that I brought with me across the country, I think is one of the most exciting because something is happening and I can't wait to show you. Okay, this is a Hoya ALBOMARGINATA. I don't know, it's one of those ALBOMARGINATAs, okay? Stunning plant, beautiful plant. This plant doesn't grow for me literally at all. It's grown one leaf, this leaf, since I got it, and it was on like this long vine. I had to chop it and prop it and re-put it back in here. But it's done nothing for me in the 2 years that I've owned it. I've owned it for almost 2 years. It does nothing. I paid $50 for it on Etsy and it has grown not one bit. However, look at what it is doing. This is my first flower ever from a Hoya. I mean, I've had other flowers from other plants, but from Hoyas, I've never had a flower. So this is thrilling. I've been watching this flower's progress now for the last few weeks. I thought it was gonna be a new leaf at first, but it's not, it's a flower. And it's so exciting. I don't know how to get this Hoya to grow anymore. It won't, it simply will not, but it is flowering, and frankly, I'm happy with that. Stunning, beautiful. If you wanna follow me on Instagram, I always have it down below in the description box. I will be sort of posting updates as this flower continues to grow because I'm thrilled. She's stunning. Let's get into the new Hoyas. So I live in Seattle now. Oh, wait. Okay, this is a Hoya Burtoniae. I bought it on Etsy. I paid $50 for it on Etsy. I did bring it across the country with me. It was smaller then. I feel like I'm not giving you what you're due, the appreciation that you're due, because I was ready to share other plants. But this is a great plant. I love this Hoya. It's fuzzy, and I like how like rounded the leaves are and very branchy. Love that too. Sorry that I almost skipped over this plant. It's really, really cute. Don't, you know, it's really, really cute. So, you know, don't take it for granted, okay? Because I really do like it. It's beautiful. I paid $50 for it. It was much smaller, and now it's quite branchy and cute, and I love it. Hoya Burtoniae. Now we can get into the new Hoyas. So I live in a place now where I'm, oh my God, I did it again. I did it again. I did it again. I have one more. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so stupid. This is a Hoya POLYNURA. This was given to me by my friend Hannah Banana Montana. It was bigger when she gave it to me, and it was an extremely fast grower, but one of my cats, stop eating the plants. One of my cats knocked it over and then like busted it, so it became much smaller. And the thing is, I propagated it and it propagates very easily, but then I was stupid and it was a very small propagation, so I just threw it in a pot that was like way too big. So it hasn't grown at all because it's just been working on filling out the roots, but it's alive, and that's what I'm happy about. I don't really care. I'm not in a rush for it to grow, and I can see it's very like well rooted now. I pull on it, it's very well rooted. It's just been taking months and months because I potted it in this pot that was way too big. Hoya POLYNURA, love her, it was free. Sorry, thank you, Hannah, I love you. Now I can say with absolute certainty, these are the last Hoyas that I got here in Seattle. Okay, so I live in Seattle, which has a lot more accessible houseplants, like just unique, funky houseplant shops. So I've been able to get some rarer Hoyas since moving here. So let's start with the less rare and move to the rarer Hoyas. I got this one couple of months ago because I saw Harley G posting about hers and I wanted one. This is like, okay, I don't actually know what it's called. I think it's called a Hoya Pink Silver, Super Pink, I don't know, Pink Splash, something. The leaves are supposed to be, like the splashiness on the leaves are supposed to be pink. I don't know if you can really see it on camera, like I don't know if it's translating. So unfortunately, I really wanted it to be pink, and someone told me that the more light you give it, the more pink it will be, which is true. Is that a mealybug? I just discovered a mealybug on this plant. Oh my God, I haven't had one in a year. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Okay, all right, let me, oh my God, I'm upset. I'm shook, I'm shooketh. I'm so upset. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Okay, let me keep telling you about this plant and then we can move on. Okay, so this plant, I put it under a lot of bright light when I first got it because people were telling me that if I wanted that pink to come out, I should put it under bright light. And that is sort of true, except that I burned the crap out of it. So now it has like all these scorch marks on it. But this is a new leaf. Of course, the new leaf has the mealybug on it, but this is a new leaf. So it's doing well now. After I adjusted the lighting situation. That is very upsetting though. Apparently it has a mealybug, which is not good news because it lives in there. So I'm gonna have to pull it out of there and quarantine the hell out of it. What a bummer. But I do love this plant. It was $12 at my local nursery. I think it's a Hoya pink splash or pink silver. I don't know. It's very pretty. And it's even prettier if it didn't have all these scorch marks on it. Sometimes I've considered cutting them off, but they're not dead. Like the leaves are still alive. They just got burnt. So whatever. Oh my God, I can't believe this. I'm so upset. It's been literally a year and a half since I've had a single mealybug. That is annoying. Anyway, moving on. Hoya Mathilde. I love this plant. I paid $80 for this plant when I first moved to Seattle, and it's grown a lot. I've already gotten 2 new little plants off of it. $80 is kind of a lot for this plant. It was small too, but it's growing very fast. It's a very fast grower. We've got lots of new branchy leaves, and eventually my plan is to have it grow over this little trellis, like sort of string it up. But I'm chop and prop happy sometimes, so I did cut it quite a bit. So it would be bigger if I didn't do that. But I made 2 smaller plants off of it, which I was really happy about. I'm gonna give one to my friend Hannah when she comes. She's coming to visit me, and I sold the other one. So this is a Hoya Mathilde. She's also a little burned. Man, I really am like grow light happy too. I should like pull the, not burned, but you see how they're like bleached out. Like these are, okay, these are like her newer regular leaves, and then she's got like some yellowing. It's just because I have a grow light and I put them right under it because I want them to grow. And sometimes I just get overzealous with putting them really close because I just, I want good things for them and sometimes I overdo it. But she's doing well and very fast grower and I love her. $80. Love her. Next. Ooh. This is genuinely one of my pride and joy plants in all of my collection. This is a variegated Hoya OBOVATA. I have grown this plant for the last 7 months. I got it when I first arrived in Seattle. It was $80 as well. And it was this big when I got it. So I've grown all these parts. This one has the same problem where like if the leaves are, like if you move it and the leaves are still really small, the leaves will fall right off, which is super annoying. That happened right there as well. But this plant, I'm obsessed with this plant. This is one of my like favorite plants in my collection just because it's so pretty. Look at its leaves. Look at it. I love it. Next, I bought this plant on Etsy recently. This is a Hoya Parasitica Splash. Hoya Parasitica Splash. I actually don't know much about this plant yet because like I said, I recently got it. But I bought it on Etsy and I paid $40 for it. And I just, I'm just interested in collecting more interesting Hoyas. So I bought it. Because I like the roundedness of the leaves. And it does have like the splashiness. So it was $40 with tax and everything, which I thought was pretty reasonable. And I put it in this pot and it hasn't grown at all. I've got it in the last like 3 weeks or so. So it's pretty new to my collection, but I really like it a lot. It's very pretty and I love the veins. I actually don't think I have any other Hoyas. Oh, the ALBOMARGINATA, but that's the only one that has like these like sort of veiny texture on the leaves. So I really like this. And I saw it recently in another plant store, Hoya Parasitica Black something, I don't know. I'm wondering if that's the same or not because that one was like more expensive. And I think it had like darkness around the rims, but I really couldn't tell because it was quite small still. So let me know if you know anything else about Hoya Parasiticas because I'm still learning about these guys, but this is really pretty. And I like how much it's already like branching out. It's very pretty. Love her. $40, Etsy. Last but not least, certainly not least, this is my newest Hoya to my collection. And actually it's growing quite fast. This is a Hoya KROHNIANA Silver. Hoya KROHNIANA Super Silver. Whatever. This is, they have like two forms of it. They have the darker form, which is like the darker leaves, and then this one that has the lighter leaves. I just got it a couple weeks ago in one of my, I filmed it in one of my like videos where I was visiting this houseplant store called Seattle Plant Daddy. This was $60 for the size that it is. It is growing pretty fast already. Like it has these little offshoots and these little offshoots. So this one is actually doing really well and I'm very excited about it. But this is sort of a similar situation where I don't really know too much about it. So if you have any tips for me on these, let me know. I repotted it into terracotta because the soil that was in was quite wet, and now I have it living in my grow cabinet, and it's living its little best life. It's growing a lot and I like it and I'm really happy with it. And $60 is kind of a lot of money for a plant, but I still think it was a really reasonable price for this plant. I love it. Okay, y'all, that is gonna be the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm realizing now that I think Hoyas are the plant that I have the most of, like the largest variety of plants. So that's exciting. I really like Hoyas a lot. I find that they're very easy to keep alive. Like they just never do me wrong, whereas some of the other plants that have like more delicate leaves just do me so dirty. So I feel like whenever I buy a Hoya, I know exactly what I'm getting into. So I really love them for that reason. And that's why I have so many. So I'm going to wrap up this video here. I put out 2 videos a week, and if you'd like to see any specific videos from me, you can leave them in the comments down below because I respond to all comments. If there's a Hoya that I should buy and I should be on the lookout for, let me know in the comments as well because I love Hoyas and I'm trying to collect them all. Gotta catch them all. Not that I ever played Pokemon, but you know, I'm cute, I'm funny, ha. I hate myself. Okay, leave me a comment down below. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Hopefully I will see you in my next video. Goodbye. Bye guys.